Good evening and happy Friday, everybody. I'm Phil Russert, and this is Creatorcon Q&A. We have another episode tonight with a talented artist. Before I get to that, of course, I have all my shout-outs to do. So without further ado, for all your comic book needs, go to Mad Titan Comics on Instagram. It's at @MadTitan_comics. Or you can reach out to Eric Gunderson, the owner and operator, on Facebook. For all your geek culture and pop culture needs, go to www.lesdudis.com, LESDUDIS. Andy Lee does Comic Con convention reviews, collectible reviews, and so much more for your geek fandom. We also have It Came From the Radio. If you like the indie scene and you like pop culture scene, check out Mark Torres, the host of It Came From the Radio. They are an online radio show. I've been on the show. I recommend it highly. Very entertaining, and they give you the up-to-date news at the beginning of the show, so check them out. And last but not least, we have Enrique Torres. Enrique has his show Inking with Kike every Monday night at 8 p.m. on Instagram. His Instagram and Twitter are Studio MAENEFL. And he has a guest star every Monday when he's on the show. You can also pick up his new anthology book, Stupendous, by reaching out to him on Facebook. That's Enrique Lopez. If you go to elopezgil.myportfolio.com, you can also see all of his work. If you want to purchase it, you can reach him there. And he has his follow-up anthology book, Horrendous, which should be out soon, so keep an eye on that. Follow Enrique to get up-to-date details. So tonight's guest is Jason Metcalf. I'm sure you all know him, a very talented artist who happened to have done every layout on that wall behind me. So I've been getting layouts from Jason for a long time, as well as art. Jason's credits include covers for Valiant's Bloodshot, Rye, DC and IDW's Batman and Maxx crossover, the Arkham Dreams #1, Zenoscope's Van Helsing, Absolute Comics White Widow #1, Y Comics Kinetic, Ryan Kincaid's Persuasion, Sora Sung's Aura. He also did inking assists with Joe Weems on Top Cow's titles The Darkness and Magdalena. He's done trading cards, the Upper Deck trading cards for Marvel and Billy Tucci's She. And actually, to my surprise, I didn't realize he has done Blu-ray content for HBO's Game of Thrones and the History Channel's Vikings, two great shows that I really like. So I just wanted to let you know that tonight Jason is going to be auctioning off a piece of art. We posted online if you haven't seen it. It is a beautifully full-color sketched Batman the Maxx sketch cover. He's also including in the auction the variant cover he did for IDW DC Comics Batman the Maxx Arkham Dreams #1. During the chat, you can put your bids in there. The bids are $140, which is a steal in my opinion to start. And the bids will go up in increments of $10 just to keep it simple. You'll put your bids in the chat room if anybody's interested. And towards the end of the show, we will do a countdown to the finish of the auction, and we will post in the auction done. Once it is done, the last person to have bid will be the winner, and you can contact Jason after the show. Jason will also be doing a live sketch currently of Rogue on a sketch cover while we're talking, and he has graciously offered that as a free giveaway to the person with the best question, which I will determine, and tomorrow I will make the announcement for the winner of the sketch. So that was very kind of Jason, and believe me, when you see his artwork, you'll be very happy to get that. So without further ado, I want to welcome Jason Metcalf. Hey, Jason, what's going on? Hang on, sorry, we lost sound. Let's try that one.
How's that?
Yeah, okay, your sound was on the other one.
yeah.
How are you
technology.
Tonight?
Yeah, we're slowly figuring out technology, right?
Yeah, me, very slowly for me.
Yeah, man.
So how you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, doing well. It's not as late here as it is there, so I'm a little chipper. So.
Yeah, well, I'm a night person, so it doesn't affect me on any level.
Cool, that all works.
So I was just letting everybody know you'll be doing a live sketch, doing Rogue, that you're graciously going to give away, and I'll announce the winner tomorrow. And you also have the auction going on. If you want to, before we get started, show them the piece right there. It's the Batman Maxx sketch cover.
Yeah,
along with
it. So this is the sketch cover. This is the regular cover. The auction is for both of these books. This was a cover done through Comics Elite. It's a retail variant. One cool thing about this is on the back, on the inside jacket, it's got a list of all the covers that were done by all the different artists. So there were, I don't know what were there's 19 different covers from this one. Anyway, interiors are by Sam Keith.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So it's a cool story. Batman and the Maxx basically are exploring the Joker's psyche, is what's happening.
Very cool.
So yeah, and this is a sketch cover done with Copic markers, much like I'll be doing tonight with the Road. And we're starting at 140 for the set.
All right, so throughout the night, like I said, you could put your bids in the chat in $10 increments, please, just to keep it simple. And at the end of the show, we'll do a countdown, and the last bid that's up will be the lucky winner.
And one other thing, if somebody does bend my arm, I do have the original art also.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
So that's the original cover. I'm on the fence about letting it go, but it would take a certain something for me to let it go. But I thought I'd show it at least.
Very nice. Yeah. Excellent. So it's funny. I remember I met you, I don't know, maybe like 8 or 9 years ago at New York Comic Con. And I've just been a fan since, and I've gotten a lot of work from you. You do all my layouts. You've done artwork. I've got commissions like that Fantastic Four. Beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
And I remember you telling me you made a drastic career move to go to full-time art. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I did. So starting back, I guess I'll start from the beginning. When I was growing up and when I was going to school, one thing, my art level wasn't at a level that I felt that it was professional enough. And another thing, I couldn't see how to make it a viable option for me to pursue it as a career. So I got a construction management degree, and I was a project manager, project estimator, project engineer for a bunch of commercial construction companies in and around the Seattle area for about 11 years. And then during that time, I started going to conventions and started selling my art at conventions and started to build up a body of work. And then started meeting artists and writers and editors and gaining professional work. And from there, it just kind of snowballed. About the same time, I really focused on my online presence and got onto DeviantArt, created my own website, and all those things just bit by bit just started moving the ball forward. My first interior series that I did for IDW was Eternal Descent. I did that whole thing while I was still doing a 60 to 70 hour work week.
Oh, wow. How'd you meet that deadline?
Well, it was flexible. So everybody was fully aware up front that it was going to be maybe an issue every 2 months or 2.5. It was a flexible deadline. So in the end, it was a collected graphic novel, but there were single issues as well. I did covers for 8 issues, and I did the interiors on four issues.
Nice. By the way, yes, you can ask questions at any time. And if we don't get to your questions at the moment that you ask, we do have a Q&A for a few minutes at the end. You're welcome to re-ask the question if we don't get to you, but we do try to have a lot of fan participation. So hello, Evan and Jason.
Yeah, hi, guys. I'm going to get going on this sketch
okay.
while you're asking questions. And then I may or may not get done with it, but it'll be done before it's mailed out, obviously.
Okay. Yeah. If not, you get a half done.
Yeah, it could be tomorrow morning. And if that's the case, then Phil, I'll shoot you a scan of it or a photo of it, and you can put it
Sure, and I'll show it to everybody when I make the announcement anyway, so no problem.
Yeah, perfect.
You're the one gracious enough to give it away for free, so I don't think anybody's complaining.
Okay, that's good.
So I mean, did you have formal training? I mean, you said you were in construction management. That's a total shift of careers. Did you have formal art training, or did
I
you just?
When I was younger, when I was in grade school, my parents put me in a few independent classes. Uh, still life drawing, so a little bit of oil painting, um, but and the only other course that I took, I took some general art courses in high school, nothing really focused, and then I took a drawing class um, when I was in college, getting my construction management degree. I took a class in drawing, and I thought when I signed up for the class, I was going to get taught skills that would help me draw the way I want to draw. Um, but it ended up being a class more about connecting with your feelings and drawing abstract and letting the line flow. Which, I mean, it's helpful sometimes.
Did you
Maybe
connect with your feelings? Did you really get to know yourself?
yeah, my feelings took control, and
Yeah.
I felt like it was a waste of time.
So that was what you were feeling.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling. Uh, yeah, and I ended up getting a C. I remember one time during that course we had a live drawing session, a model drawing session, and the critique on my art was that it looked too realistic. It looked too much like that person that we were
Really?
supposed to. Yeah,
That's a bad
and
thing.
um, in this professor with the power to give grades, it was a bad thing. Uh,
Nice.
so
So likeness art, it
yeah,
was not something he wanted or
yeah.
she wanted.
No, and I obviously did not make it be known, and I don't think it was really known in my mind yet that I totally wanted to get into comics. Um, I had met some people while I was in school, and had gone to my first conventions ever when I was in college with some friends. Met some people at the comic shop in town. Started making small connections there, and started immersing myself more and more in the world of comics. So,
Well, that's a
from that,
brave leap. It takes a lot to decide to just go full time with that when you have such a stable career, and which obviously now you're stable as an artist, but you don't know
yes,
that first going in.
no, and honestly, immediately it was about a 50% pay cut. So I mean, it
Wow.
was, and so this I made that decision in 2008. Which was a very similar time. It was an election year. The economy was falling apart. It was, the bubble was bursting on the housing market,
Yeah.
and I was in construction, and the construction market was kind of drying up. And so, and a bunch of us were talking, what's going to happen, what's going to happen. So I thought, well, I was at that time I was doing Eternal Descent for IDW. I was 3 issues in to that project, and I started getting commission work on the side. And so it got to a point where it wasn't meeting what I was making, but it
Right.
was enough for me to make a leap. So this is an interesting story. I So I made the leap. I started getting some comic work, uh, and it was going okay. Uh, but then unfortunately my wife ran into some problems that we had to take care of. She ended up losing her job, and so I was the breadwinner for both of us. We went through savings. We went through about a year of like real financial distress, and
Yeah.
it was at that point that I went to my first conventions on the East Coast. I went to Boston and Baltimore. Um, and then out of those conventions, I had successful shows. I was able to sell some art, and the inkling of an idea of a possibility that I could make this work started to take hold, which was it was a turning point. I had to borrow like $500 from a friend of mine to pay for the flight to get out there. Came home with, I made some money, was able to pay the mortgage, some bills, stuff like that. and then boom, I started signing up for conventions as much as I could. And then from that, building my website, getting more stuff, the stuff that I was getting published in was finally hitting the shelves. So it was kind of like a gauntlet, a pinch point. And
You're like Peter Parker.
I guess I was a little bit older.
Trying to struggle to pay your rent and take care of everything else. Well.
Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff could have happened years and years before that. But honestly,
but you know what? You and I have talked. We know things happen for a reason and the way they're supposed to. And your message is a great one, though. It's telling everybody, look, you got to sacrifice and you got to take risks if you want to meet your dream. It's not going to come easy.
Yeah, and it's a gut check. Some people never see the wall, whatever their wall is, and there's several walls in life, but that was one for me, and it persevered, made it through it, it's been onward and upward from there. I've got to say no to work more often than I say yes to it. So I'm very blessed and very thankful for everything that's happened. So
I mean, you've done a lot of cover work,
Phil,
including me,
including you.
I feel so special.
You are.
Thank you. Yeah, I know I'm special. My wife tells me all the time, but she's not meaning it in a good way.
Well, her and I might be like this. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, I grew on you, though. I grew on you like a hairy mole. I grew on you. So it's interesting because you've had a lot of success with a lot of indie covers and the other publisher covers. And how did you attain such success? With not working for the big two, because everybody thinks you have to work for the big two, and here's Jason Metcalf going, no, you don't.
Yeah. So for me, my success, I guess, is it comes from three sources. Conventions, for me to be able to, travel and sell my art there. The commission work that I generated, and the cover and comic art that I'm able to do. Some years, one thing outweighs the other, but I look at all three pots as being sources for me. So yeah, it was just a kind of a slow grind and a slow build,
but well worth it.
It's been well worth it, yeah. And I've never, thankfully, I've never had to really hunt for work. I get offers all the time. I just had two things come to me this week, and I can't tell you what either one is, but they're both pretty cool. And one of them's almost kind of like a bucket list sort of thing. It's a
oh, nice,
cool, very well known property that everybody's going to love if I'm able to do this thing. So they're looking.
It must be hard to keep quiet.
Yeah, they're looking at the sketches that I sent them for cover options. I just did them 2 hours ago, so they're deciding right now what they want me to do. So,
well, fingers crossed for you, and we look forward to hearing a good announcement, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
So we have some questions. Jason D'Ambrosio asked, when you do a store variant, does the store approach you or do the publishers set it up?
For me, so far, it's been the store. The Batman Maxx that I did for Comics Elite. I know the guys at Comics Elite through conventions. He's a convention contact. We've known each other for years. The stores set that up. And the way that works is the stores, they pay the publisher a fee for the privilege of producing a cover that the store then owns. There's a minimum print run. Some companies it's 2,000, 3,000. Some companies it's a 5,000 issue print run, something like that. So it's different for every company. And then the artist gets vetted. We have to be approved to be able to work on the cover.
Right.
That's how that works.
And Adam asked, which artist has influenced you the most?
That's tough. Like the very, very most, the very, very most, it's a toss up. It's either Jim Lee, Silvestri. I jotted down a list. I mean, there's so many artists.
I told you once before, I see Silvestri, with your style, of course, put in there, but I can see the influence of Silvestri.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, deep roots are Frazetta. He was one of the, in fact, Frazetta, honest to God, he was the first artist that, as a kid, when I would see his art in a bookstore on the shelf somewhere, um,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know who it was. I was like, age-wise, I was like 7 or 8, but I saw that art and I was like, I like that. Who is that? And it would be side by side with like Boris and Julie Bell, and I could tell the difference. It was like, I mean, those are great. They're fantastic artists, but there was something about Rosetta's energy and the tension and just the rawness of it. I think later on that's what I think I saw. But yeah, he's the first artist that I kind of like said, "Wow,
It's funny. I
whoever
remember
that is awesome."
I remember looking at your logo and thinking it was probably the coolest logo of any artist I've seen. And I had asked you where you got the influence on that logo was, and you told me who were your influences for that logo.
Yeah. No, it was kind of a combination of a few things, but one of them was definitely Rosetta's
Yeah, it's
signature.
definitely a cool logo. Sorry, hang on. We have another question here pertaining to what we were speaking about before. I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm sorry. Is it Kai? At what point in your life did you realize that construction management wasn't what you wanted to do? Was there a certain experience that swayed you to full-time art? I know we kind of covered it, but
Yeah. Well, it was a combination of things. It wasn't just purely being in construction, but it was a function of me finally dipping my toes in the comic book swimming pool and getting into the comic art side of things, and the fulfillment that I had while I was doing comic art, while I was still going to my day job, just slowly started to outweigh the day work, and it got to a point where I finally was going to work feeling like I was wasting my time going into the office. I felt like I really got to focus on this, and I gotta make this work. This is what I need to do. So yeah, there's
I
kind
think
of
when
a
your
slow.
day job starts to get in your way mentally of what your passion is, you know
Yeah,
that you've had enough.
yeah. And then it was step by step too. I had to prove to myself that one, I was good enough, and then two, I could make a living at it, and the avenues available for me to do that existed. Um,
Right.
so I didn't just blindly jump in and without any sort of plan. I kind of weighed I weighed the whole situation, and like I said, though, granted, it was immediately a 50% pay cut, and then I went through all that stuff.
Just to let everybody know, we're getting a flood of questions, which I appreciate. It's great having the interaction. If I don't get to
Cool.
your question, just to reiterate, we will have time at the end for Q&A, and we will just readdress the question with us, and we promise to get to every one of them.
That sounds good.
It is important. We will get you all in, okay? Just so keep that in mind. You now not only comics, not only variant covers, but as I mentioned at the top of the show, you got into doing Blu-ray work for Vikings and Game of Thrones, two very popular shows. How
Yeah,
did that happen?
that was fun work. It's another convention connection. I was at WonderCon in LA, and the art director for the studio that was putting together additional Blu-ray content for Game of Thrones stopped by my booth, and we got to chatting, and that's how I got that work. And what I did was, you can look them up on YouTube. There's videos on YouTube of the histories of Westeros. It was still art that they put animated effects to, and had the actors narrate stories, kind of like a storybook, kind of like a moving storybook. So
Nice.
yeah, I think I did like 60 pieces.
Oh, wow.
That project. Yeah. And they wanted them to look antiquated. So it was my pencil art only, but then it was even more roughed up a little bit than I normally draw. But it was like real sketchy, very, very sketchy.
Okay.
You know, kind of like, I don't know if you guys were into any fantasy RPG gaming, that the packaging sometimes they have like in the inside is like real rough.
Yeah.
Fantasy archetypical drawings. It was stuff like that.
So as a Frazetta fan, you must have loved doing stuff for that time period and that kind of genre.
And I had already read all the books before the show started. I mean, it was something I was into.
Well, the ones that came out.
yeah. Well, I mean, up to the point that the show started, I was already like way into it. I love fantasy. I love D&D, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Frazetta, Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice is awesome. And I read Lord of the Rings when I was 9. I've read it like 6 times already. I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. No, totally awesome. So I mean, my genre of choice actually is high fantasy. I love that stuff.
That's funny because Adam had just asked that. So there's your answer, Adam.
Cool.
There you go.
Thanks, Adam. Hey, right
on. Yeah, I mean, so let me ask you, how do you not fanboy, though, when you get something like that come your way? You know, I mean, these are shows and books that you, like the rest of us, you're loving and enjoying, and now you're a part of it, you know? I mean, you're etched in stone, a part of this on some level.
I don't know. I guess I honestly, I really hadn't looked at it that way.
It's work. It's business.
Yeah. I guess I'm not too worried about that. I'm more focused on quality of my work, and I don't know. That's interesting. I haven't really taken a step back and looked at it from a 30,000 foot, end of life epitaph perspective. So
okay.
Maybe because I'm afraid of heights and I don't want to think about the end of life. I don't know.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So
I just enjoy the process.
You also have there's a Kickstarter right now for Kinetic, which you had done a cover. So one of the tiers in there is your original cover that you did. Yeah, I have to say the artwork is phenomenal, and the character looks very interesting.
Yeah, he's like an up and coming superhero that thinks that he can do better than the superheroes that are in his town, but he has his own struggles, and I got so many covers here. Okay, I'll show you this. Sorry. There we go.
Very nice. The link will be posted in the chat, so if you want to go support that Kickstarter, and if you really love the artwork, you want to pledge at that tier, that would be awesome.
This is the 9th issue. There's already issues 1 through 8. I did the covers on issue 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Can people get those issues through you, or who would they go through?
Go through Kinetic. The company name is Y Comics, the letter Y Comics. Let me grab something real quick.
If you can too, so after the show, maybe just send me that link. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So It is.
There you go. Very nice.
Yeah, that's the cover for issue 1. It was unfortunately in a portfolio of mine that got stolen.
I remember that story. You want to share it with
Yeah,
the rest of them, or? Oh, that
yeah,
was
geez.
brutal.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I had come home from a convention, and I was just totally wiped out. There was a point I was doing 25 to 30 conventions a year. Um, and this was during one of those times where I had like 4 or 5 conventions back to back to back to back. And so I had gotten home on a Monday night, and I was just going to turn right around and fly out on Wednesday to go to the next show. And we live in it's kind of a nice neighborhood. It's older, but it's like clean, and we're on a dead end street up in the woods. There's nobody here. It's kind of a neat place. Uh, so I never thought of theft in our area. And that night I was tired. I got home. I got drove home from the airport, and I think I got home at maybe 2 in the morning or something like that. Had a late flight. Might have been weather delays, coming out of Baltimore, wherever I was.
Sorry, you're getting a little low on the mic there.
Oh, okay, yeah. So anyway, I got home really late, super tired. I left my luggage in my truck overnight, and I had parked it in the street, and got up in the morning, window smashed, luggage gone. Tried to track it down, didn't. Sort of had a lead, but it didn't really pan out. Cops couldn't do anything about it. So basically, I had to write it off as a loss.
Sorry to hear that.
I found out through that if anybody's an artist and anybody does this for a living, your homeowner's insurance has a limit on how much it will cover. You need to have additional business insurance to take care of any business losses.
Oh man.
So I only had a fraction, like maybe 5% of the value of that art was
Oh
covered
my
in
God.
insurance. So yeah, it was a punch in the gut. Huge learning lesson. I hope this story saves somebody out there from doing the same thing. So I guess I'll pass that on and read about it on my epitaph as well. So.
Well, speaking of that, we had a question here. Sorry, I just lost it. Who was asking that? Evan Thompson.
Yeah, hi.
He writes poetry, and he was just saying that, you know, when how does your mood determine what you draw and how you draw, and to go with that, when you're happy or sad or anxious, etc. Do you have a comfort sketch or a go-to subject that makes you feel better?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely times where I don't want to pick up anything, and I don't want to draw, but I might have a deadline, and so like during those times, I'll just put on some uplifting music. Really, Phil,
What do you listen to?
I know you're a
Yeah.
Rush fan. I've been getting into Rush pretty hardcore lately, with some
Oh,
stuff that I just never got into when I was a kid.
oh hell yeah,
So
they're so good.
like YYZ live.
Did you hear your live with Rio? It's amazing when it's an
Rio,
instrumental and 60,000 people are singing the riff.
yeah, yeah, they're all jumping around, and yeah,
It's
that's an
amazing.
amazing video. And then like Xanadu, like I'll have
Oh
Xanadu
yeah.
I'll have that in my head for days.
Oh
It
yeah,
sounds
beautiful. I was
great.
just humming that the other day, and I don't know if you saw the video I put up on my post. It's me playing the drums to La Via Strangiato.
Oh wow. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
go to my post. You'll see it. Yeah.
Oh wow.
There's my plug.
Proficiently?
Well, you determine that. I
Okay.
just someone else put it up on YouTube, so I shared it, and you determine that.
Nice. Oh, very cool.
Yeah, man.
So I mean, other things I listen to. Sometimes I try to match the mood of the music with what I'm drawing. I mean, a lot of times I do, but I'll play like ambient music. I'll play like uh, rainstorms and streams and wildlife and things like that. But I'll also play psychedelic space rock and
Okay.
You know,
What about
I'm
Gregorian chants?
Not yet. I'm thinking if there's a piece upcoming that might fit, that might be kind of cool. Actually, there is. There is something coming up. I might use that for.
Sweet.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm here for. I'm a help.
Yeah. Yeah. I try. I mean, yeah, I try to have fun with it. So yeah, you just help me have more fun.
Two guys asked the same question. One was beat out by a minute, but Aaron Bess asked, "Who's your favorite character or characters to draw?"
Okay.
And literally right after Tom had asked, "Who are some of your favorite characters to draw?" So we'll give them both credit there.
Yeah. I'd say there's like 4 or 5 that I gravitate toward. Hawkman, Thor, Conan, Batman, Wolverine. All of those guys. I like the armored aspect, the grittiness, I guess the high fantasy fighter-ish aspect of a lot of those characters. And then Batman, I mean, there's just so many cool things you can do with the capes and the shadows and the blacks and the mood he's
I have a metal print of the Bat family from you.
Yeah.
By the way, if you haven't
online.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Jason's metal prints, they are phenomenal. I mean, the color just pops. They're beautiful. You don't even need to frame them if you don't want to and you want to hang them up or stand them up. But he does this Bat family print that is awesome. You did the DC Villains one. I love that. I have a metal print.
Nice.
A lot of amazing work. And actually, one of the first things that caught my eye is you had a print, but it was a print of pencils, which I thought was really cool. It was Wolverine with arrows in him, and it's him in a wife beater. He wasn't in his costume.
Yeah. That was a.
It was very raw, but I loved it. I loved
definitely
it
gritty.
Captured the character.
It's a rough. I call that a rough first night in Madripoor. So.
Yeah, and it suits it. It really is good.
He's got like arrows and shurikens, and I think there's even a katana stuck in his side.
Yes.
He's roughed up a little bit.
Yeah, but you definitely captured the grittiness of the character in that.
Thank you.
So, have you ever wanted to work for one of the big two?
Yeah. And honestly, I've submitted my art mostly to DC. I've submitted my art to DC several times to different editors. I've never gotten approached to do any work for them other than I did a Batman, Joker, Robin children's book that got published by Barnes and Noble.
Joker in a children's book sounds good.
Yeah.
Parental advisory.
Yeah, it was. Well, it was Joker for kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The neutered Joker.
But yeah, I've got some story ideas I think would be kind of cool, but they're more Elseworldish, historical, take place in interesting time periods, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to throw existing characters into different civilizations and cultures and time periods and situations.
So what book would you, if you could choose, would you want to be on? Would it be Batman or would it be Hawkman? And who would be your writer? What creative team would you want with you?
How cool would it be to do Hawkman with Roy Thomas?
Hell yeah. Nice.
Can you imagine that?
I can.
And let's do Ancient Egypt.
Nice. Yeah, I have to say that's another print I have of yours, Hawkman with and you have several, but there's one where he's fighting all these skeleton warriors, and it's just so good. The way you draw the feathers on his wings, everything. Nice.
When I did that piece, man, that was 15 years ago. I thought, why not do Hawkman like Conan with wings, and let's put him in an Egyptian crypt and have him fighting some undead soldiers.
And that's how he should be, in my opinion. I like that. I like that a lot. I mean, it was one of my I can't remember my first print, but I bought a lot of prints from you, and then I started getting into original art, and And then, I stopped at the prints, and I just got a ton of original stuff from you.
My throat's drying out here. I don't know if you can see that. This is like the best ginger beer out there. This is non-alcoholic. This is just like hyped up ginger ale. It's got cayenne pepper in it.
God, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Wow, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my questions, everybody's starting to answer.
I should actually get some sort of promotional compensation.
I was about to say, you just put a commercial for him. Where's your commission?
I did. Yeah.
So a lot of the questions that are being asked they're asking for me. So instead of me asking, I'll give them the credit, obviously, for the sketch.
Cool.
I always ask this. I always get funny stories for this question, and Adam is going to ask it today. What is the oddest commission request that you have drawn, or I will say been requested to draw? Because sometimes you decide not to do it because it's just so crazy.
Yeah, this kind of falls in both realms. Okay, so I was at a show in Portland, Oregon. I'll let that set in. And I was approached. This was like 15 years ago. It could be longer. It was like early 2000s, I think. And I think sometimes these strange questions, these off-the-wall requests, get directed to younger artists who, might be light on coin and a little more willing to flesh out whatever they have in their minds. Right. So this guy asked me, "Hey," it's almost like, "Hey, kid, can you doing commissions?" Yeah, I'm doing commissions. I got room for one today. Okay. Can you do cartoons? I suppose so. Yeah. What do you want? Can you draw Bugs Bunny? Yeah, man, I can draw Bugs Bunny. Yeah, I got you. Look out price and all this stuff. So he says, okay. So I started on the head, and he walked away. He came back like 10 minutes later, and he says, "Hey, can you turn him so we see his tail a little bit?" Okay. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. All right. So re-angle the figure, and he walks away, and he's back probably another 10 or 15 minutes. And says, "Hey, can you put a skirt on him?" And I was like, "You know what? Here's your money back. Here's the drawing."
No kidding.
Yeah, it's just, I don't want to get a request from you ever again, and I'm sorry I couldn't do this for you.
What did he say?
It's like, oh, I didn't know you'd be offended by that.
Well, yes, he did, because if he had to keep coming back and adding all these creepy elements to it later, obviously he was trying to work you softly into it.
Yeah.
Who knows where that would have ended up?
Man, I'm just lucky, I wasn't younger on the street, and drove in a van.
Well, there's a question for you that would put you on the spot. If you were needing the coin really bad, would you have done the commission, or would you have been like, "This is too creepy"?
No
judgments here.
Nah.
Knowing you on the level I do, I know you would turn it down. So.
Yeah, no, I have. Yeah, no. I have no desire to propel, fuel whatever is going on in that noggin. So.
Okay, so what else we got? Oh, it looks like some of my regular guys are coming back in tonight. I haven't seen them.
Hey, don't forget, we can start dropping bids at any time.
Yeah. Sorry, for people who came in late, there's an auction going on right now. You can drop bids in the post. It's starting at $140. It's for that sketch cover and the variant cover, the book that he did for IDW and DC. Right, that's the sketch, full color. And then he's got the book as well that he did the variant cover for IDW and DC, both starting at $140. You can do $10 increments. in the chat. And at the end of the show, I'll do a countdown. And the last bid before my countdown is the winner. And you can contact Jason after. Tom Hutchinson. He said, "This guy, you're interviewing this guy?" Hutchinson, sorry.
Tom, did you hit Red Lobster this week? You're trying to lose weight, buddy. Are you still doing that?
That's funny that you said Red Lobster too, because my normal guys that come in here, every time we ask the funny commission request question and things like that, it starts to build where we develop these inside jokes that just keep going forward. And Red Lobster, Geraldo Borges, he always says he loves Red Lobster, so now they joke with me about taking everybody out to Red Lobster after my next show or whatever. So.
See, Tom's in Phoenix, so I wonder if Long Island Red Lobster is a little different than Arizona Red Lobster.
Yeah, probably.
Could be a little different.
I didn't even know you had Red Lobsters out in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Stephanie asked, "You make a living drawing comic art, but is there a different style of art that you collect?"
Yeah, I've got a lot of not original, but I've got a lot of Frazetta stuff. I've got a lot of high fantasy art. Larry Elmore, I've got a bunch of his prints. What's his name? The guy that drew Wenzel, the guy that drew the Hobbit graphic novel. I got a bunch of the Hobbit stuff.
Nice.
So yeah, it's basically all sword and sorcery stuff that I like.
I got to get you to do a layout for me for Lord of the Rings characters. That's gonna be one of my layouts.
Dude, I'm in. Let me draw one of them. That'd be fantastic.
I always try to get you on. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That would be fantastic. That's something nobody's ever commissioned me to do. It's like a
really
Lord of the Rings.
Dude, I have like
of
40,
anything, like a ring wraith or anything. I would love to do something.
Yeah, I have like 40 layout ideas for you. It's insane. My wife, I just for entertainment, I'm sitting there going, all right, coming up with new ideas. And she's like, my God, how many of you? I mean, you have no room as it is where you got to put all these. I'm like, I don't know, but Jason will be retired.
You and I are working on a long-term relationship, buddy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I have 18 jams right now from you, layouts that you did. 18 and counting. So, and counting.
Over the years, they build up. Yeah.
Well, it was funny because
I forget if I passed my 50th. It was either my 50th or 60th cover for Zenescope, just last month.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, because I mean, I met you so long ago in New York, but it was, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago in Phoenix. And I remembered you were talking about how you were doing a lot of sketch cards and trading cards and stuff. And the way you laid them out, it reminded me of like the Jim Lee trading cards. You know how he's doing the team shots? He's
a huge influence, yep.
Yeah, and I said, you know what? You would be perfect to do layouts for me to start my jam, hobby because of the way you were able to speak. I have to tell you, Billy Tucci and a bunch of professional artists, every time I show them, to work on it, they go, who did this layout? This is like the best jam I've ever seen in my life. So you get a lot of compliments on your layouts.
Oh, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Andy Lee said, did anyone else just try covering Jason's upper face to see if he could pull off being Batman? No, just me. Yeah, well, I mean, what do you think? Would it be better than Pattinson?
Sure, let's do this.
Let's say, I'm Batman. Actually, you look like Daredevil when they put him in the black.
I know. That's full black.
Elseworld. Okay, hi, Phil and Jason. Hello, Will. All right, sorry. I'm a little behind on the questions here. I'm trying to juggle both together. My brother's on here, and he's a huge Lord of the Rings fan, too. So he's like, he wants Gandalf versus Balrog. Hell yeah, Lee. That'd be awesome.
Man, dude. That would be fantastic.
That would be awesome. And there's Steve Pandas. I knew somebody was going to mention Pandas. That has to do with Chris Campana's craziest commission.
I saw the interview.
Oh, yeah. I told you they always come in.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I know you couldn't speak about the two projects, but any other projects that are coming up that you can mention? Any ideas for your
Yeah,
own creator-own series?
yeah. I've got plot lines developed. I've got some scripting done. I'm working on a high fantasy project of my own. Um,
Awesome.
so we'll see. I mean, as time allows, we'll see how I squeeze it in. I got to do everything that pays the bills first. Um,
Deadlines first.
yeah, or maybe dedicate one day a week to do nothing but my own stuff, something like that. I got to structure it better. It's been people that know me know that I've mentioned this for a long time, but it's something I'm working.
Well, if you could do 60, 70-hour work weeks in the beginning and then get the deadlines done, I'm sure you can handle it. You know, you're a grinder.
I
You're a
am.
grinder.
I'm a little bit older, but yeah, I am. Yeah, yeah.
What are you, 27?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
sure. And I have these magic beans to sell you. But
but upcoming also. I just did a cover for Van Helsing's 50th.
nice.
Actually, you know what? I don't think they would be mad. I'm going to sneak it up here.
All right, don't get them yelling at me.
No, they're not going. They're not going to yell at you. In fact, I was on a live stream with them a couple weeks ago. They had BeachCon for Zenoscope, and somebody threw the cover up there. In fact, I think it was the president.
Oh,
Put the
okay.
cover up. Yeah. So I mean, people.
By the way,
have
you
seen
sound
it.
better on the mic when you turn your head.
Oh, that's because the mic is over here.
There you go.
Here, maybe I should. Man, if I only had a bat cow, I'd put it.
Tape it to your face. Yeah.
How's that sound?
There you
Is
go.
that better? There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sound like you need more ginger beer.
I do. So, yeah, that's.
Oh, wow. By the way, your inking has I mean, you were always good, but your inking has become incredible. That Conan piece I mentioned to you,
Oh yeah, thank
the
you.
inking you did on that, oh my God. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, this is like the Van Helsing's Rogues Gallery, basically. I like doing Rogues Galleries. They're fun.
Have you ever wanted to go back to that teacher and say, yeah, I didn't get a C on this one. I got paid.
Yeah, I'm sure there's several artists out there in very similar situations.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
You know,
I think I've heard the story from other artists before, so it's yeah.
oh,
I'm
okay.
not
So
alone.
it's a common thread.
Yeah, I'm not alone. Yeah.
Tom said he was
anyway,
down
yeah.
20 pounds, by the way.
Oh, hey, awesome, Tom. That's what, 2 lobsters? 2 lobsters. Maybe 3. They're smaller in Phoenix, so it could be 4. Anyway, the other thing I got coming up, there's an independent comic called Yule's Vision.
What is it called? I'm sorry.
Yule's Vision. EULE''S Vision. Super cool, like a female, almost like the Huntress, but with an owl theme to her.
Okay.
And more white. There's a Kickstarter. I think it's still going on right now. And I'll be on the next Kickstarter in, I think that's October, November.
Send them my way. I'll announce them before shows,
Cool.
and you can come back on at some point and whatever you need to pitch. You know.
Yeah, and I got another. I did another cover for Kinetic. Let's see. And I just saw the colors on this about a week ago. But that's going to be the next cover
Nice.
for Kinetic.
Very nice.
Yeah. And one thing too, when I let these covers go, I include layouts. These are the initial.
Oh,
roughs.
cool.
Yeah. So
Very
I always
nice.
try to hang on to the roughs and include those in my cover sales.
Very nice.
Yeah,
You know, just let everybody know. Don't forget about the auction.
Yeah. Maybe the auction isn't going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
It's tough times right now. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I mean that's totally fine. I can get rid of that.
Well, you know, it'll still be up for sale afterwards at some point. It just you have a better chance with the auction of getting it at a lesser price right now than if you just wait for it to be a commission price. So keep that in mind. Auction, guys, auction. Keith was asking, what kind of movies do you like? And I would imagine it's all the fantasy stuff.
Yeah, high fantasy, but I'm always up for a good spy movie, international espionage thriller stuff. A good whodunit. I like good whodunits.
Would you ever do a book like that if you had the time and the ability to do a creator-owned, another creator-owned title? Would you do one?
Yeah, if it's the right thing. I've got ideas and sketches done for some other things in different directions. One's like a fantasy western, and for some reason I've got a running list of like wise guy names that just would be amazing characters if they were in the right book. But I don't want to piss off the mob, so I'm not sure if it would be something that I should do. I don't know if the mob is out here on the West Coast.
What am I here to amuse you? Am I like a clown?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like like.
Russell Allen put Yule's vision in the. Just to sorry to cut you off, he put Yule's vision here in the chat.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Cool.
But it'd be like Jimmy Knuckles and Joey Kneecaps, stuff.
Nice.
You probably know a Jimmy Knuckles. Like, and if you think of your youth and growing up where you grew up, you probably know somebody. Jimmy Knuckles.
So to me or Russell?
No, you, Phil.
Yeah.
I haven't heard Russell's accent. I don't know.
It's fun. Actually, it's funny not to get obviously deep into it, but I knew a lot of guys that hung out with those kind of families, and I was always on the outer fringe, but they respected me, you know. So I kept that respect, but I obviously never got involved in that stuff. I didn't need any of that in my life.
Yeah.
I was actually going to segue into shows because you have, to me, the most impressive booth display of anybody in any show. It always stands out with the way you do your wall and your print. And again, I said before, I love your logo. It's an awesome logo. You guys should go to the website, which is scrolling below for Jason, to get art from him and just check out that logo. You can buy everything he's got for sale is on that website. But Stephanie,
I need to populate that website. Actually, it's in the, unfortunately right now it's in a state of being rebuilt. So it's all right.
Well, some of the stuff that he has.
Actually, the best thing to do is go to my Facebook feed. Go to my Facebook page. Go to photos. Go to the albums. Go to timeline photos. And there's tons of stuff. There's hundreds of pieces.
Sweet. I wish I could have got that Conan piece. Anyway,
Stephanie,
so what's that?
I know Stephanie. She is the organizer for Creatorcon.
Oh, nice.
In the DC area.
Very nice. She said, "What is the most unusual, outrageous, in-depth background check you've ever had to go through to be a guest artist at a Comic-Con event?" Well, now it makes sense because she also owns a con.
Actually, it was Phil's, and I didn't make it.
Yeah. I was easy. Come on now. My con was easy.
Yeah, no. Stephanie runs a comic book show for the NSA. So it's full federal background checks, and no electronics on the show floor. Checkpoint after checkpoint to get to the facility.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be difficult.
It it's a process, but that's an amazing show. I love that show. It was fantastic. Everybody was so grateful to have a bunch of artists on base, creators.
Stephanie, you can put any links in the chat if you'd like. Just because I run a show doesn't mean that I'm, your competition. But feel free to please promote the show in the chat.
Yeah,
absolutely. I promote everybody.
That's at NSA headquarters between Baltimore and DC.
That's got to be hard for Stephanie to have to go through all that with you. Never, on your end it's tough, but she's doing it with how many artists that she's got to collect that information, or does she?
I think she has people that she's able to hand that off to.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Like there's this organization that can get into all of your cyber data and check out anything they want.
See, now they know that you're hooked up with Jimmy Kneecaps and all them. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll know that you're Batman at night too. So.
Yeah.
So, what's your craziest convention moment? Whether it was an interaction with a fan or someone you met or just something that happened. I mean, I know you were at Phoenix that one year, right? With the the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Phoenix, there's been a couple incidents in Phoenix, and I think it's probably because they don't have a legitimate Red Lobster. It's there's some
poor Tom.
There's some wild stuff in Phoenix. For like a couple of years in a row, the fire alarm would get pulled at the show, and everybody have to clear out the show floor. Vendors included. And kind of the MO on some of those sorts of deals is somebody pulls the fire alarm, people clear the show floor.
And they clear the floor.
and steal art, steal swag, and steal pops.
It's terrible.
So if the show doesn't have the proper amount of security on hand.
Well, it does now.
It does now, and that's also because of Phoenix. Phoenix was the show where the person came to the show dressed as the Punisher with guns.
Looking for the Green Ranger.
Yeah. And ended up getting tackled by some cops. But yeah, that was. I mean, I wasn't right in the middle of that, but the aftermath happened, right away. There were, the next day to get into the building, there was, a line.
It was insane.
Building. You were there, right?
Yeah, thankfully, though, I have a lot of artist friends, so one of them was able to help get me in because it was ridiculous. They funneled all those people through one single doorway, and it was 120 degrees outside, and they were all online, including cosplayers. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, it was a brand new situation. I mean, nobody knew how to handle
that to happen.
So it was a brand new situation, and I mean, they did the best they could. But I mean, there were people passing out in line because it was 114 degrees or whatever. And,
they had people going around with water for everyone and cool cloths, and it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
So would that? I'm sorry, I kind of answered it for you. If that's your answer, would that be your craziest con scenario, or would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of funny stories of different.
Give us one. Make us laugh. Amuse me like a clown.
I don't want to name names though, so I'm probably not gonna tell you.
Okay.
the things.
Fine. Dangle the carrot. Fine. Dangle the carrot. Thanks.
Maybe sometime privately at a show if they start up.
Okay, we'll go backstage after the show. Now I need to know. Is there any comic industry person that you've always wanted to meet that you never got to meet that you would, if you could, on your bucket list?
Yeah, John Buscema.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anybody alive?
I've met almost everybody that I thought would be kind of cool. Yeah.
Nice. Is there anybody that you fanboyed in front of and just couldn't keep your composure? Because I've never seen you break composure ever.
No.
That's what I thought. I have never seen you break composure. I've even tried. I stood there at your booth and tried to get something out of you, and you're always calm, cool, and collected. Always. Even when you think I'm driving you nuts, you're calm, cool, and collected.
I gotta be.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty even keel. So, yeah, I've got a perspective on life that we're all breathing the same air, and we're all in this together. So, I'm just doing my best.
Kumbaya! Let's start singing, everyone. We'll go to Red Lobster and sing it. Keith was asking which X-Men person would you like to draw, and which one is the hardest one to draw. By the way, he's drawing Rogue right now. Sort of.
I'm kind of pausing on Rogue. This might be something that I finish up later. So
no problem.
I'm enjoying the conversation, so this is good.
So for once you're enjoying a conversation with me.
Unlike all the other ones that we've had, maybe it's because people are asking intelligent questions.
Boom, boom. We should get Chris. Actually, that reminds me. I said I would get a bunch of artists on to roast me. And the reason why I would roast me is because I can handle it, I can take it, and it's no offense to any artist. You could be on the panel, man. You and Chris Campana can come up with jokes. You guys, we'll do a live roast right here. I'll get like 6 or 7 people. Well, you can all just blast the hell out of me.
Phil, baby, I'm your white knight.
Yeah. I'm serious about that too. I think that'd be awesome.
So X-Men character though, Wolverine, Colossus, Nightcrawler have always been my favorite 3 X-Men.
Yeah, Nightcrawler and Colossus.
Yeah, since I was a kid. The difficult ones to draw, I'm not being egotistical. Nothing's really difficult. Things just take more time. So it's like the more detail something has, obviously it takes more time. Any character with chains as a major part of their costume can be tedious.
So Ghost Riders.
Yeah, Ghost Rider and Spawn. Anything designed by my buddy Jamie Tyndall is tedious.
Yeah. White Widow, you've done covers for him.
Very cool. Yeah. I've done quite a few different things with him. So, and I
was actually going to see if he wanted to come on.
Yeah. Good luck. I just talked to him yesterday, and good luck. He's
always hustling, big time.
He's up to his eyeballs in so many.
Well, I'm booked to January anyway, so surprisingly.
Yeah.
My brother had worked for the NSA in the Army, by the way. He said.
Oh, cool. Oh, right on, man. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, it was cool. There's all 4 branches, including the Coast Guard and Canadian military as well.
Oh wow, Canadian too. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool.
I think Stephanie will correct me right away if I'm wrong on that.
I know Sid is an artist. She just graduated from the Kubert School. I have to tell you, she's a phenomenal artist. If you're ever doing a creative project and you want a variant cover, I'm telling you, she's really good. Anyway.
Oh, this is her right here?
Yeah, I really mean she's really, really talented. You mind me asking the comfort zone question? If there is any you'd like to try working on that you haven't done yet? Anything? She lives in Chile right now, by the way, so she's overseas.
Oh, cool. Publishing-wise, I have not done anything with DC or Marvel. The other character that would be fun to do would be Daredevil. Man, I love Lee Weeks' art on Daredevil.
Yeah.
Just fabulously stripped down and simple and elegant and just so nice to look at.
And he's a really nice guy.
He's super cool. Super cool.
Yeah.
We were table neighbors at Emerald City a few years ago and got to know each other there more and more.
Yeah, he's a gentleman.
He's a super sweet guy. Speaking of which, today would have been day one of the rescheduled Emerald City Comic Con. That's I forgot about that, but that's kind of why I chose this day. Was I would
Oh,
have been at
really?
a show, like, had history gone differently 3 months
Yeah.
ago, I would have been, in Seattle today.
I've never been to that show, but I hear it's a really great show. I mean,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
that's a
Yeah.
Reed Pop show, right?
Yep. Same guys that do New York, C2E2.
Do you have a like? I mean, not to put you on the spot, but like a top three or something shows that you like going to or canceling?
Um, yeah. Well, those two, New York and Emerald City, are
Okay.
both. They're probably my number one and two every year. San Diego, obviously, but I enjoy going to Chicago and um, Texas sometimes.
Have you done Heroes in
Go to
Baltimore?
go to Phoenix for the seafood. Um, I've done Heroes. I did Heroes years ago, before I had a lot of published work, and I had prints to sell. I did not have a good show. I paid my own way. I
Really?
was not.
Because
Yeah,
that's
I
an
was not.
art-centric show.
Yeah, I was not an invited guest. I had to pay to go to that show. Um, Now it would probably be much different for me because I do have so much work, original artwork, um, that I would be able to take.
Sid said that Lee Weeks was one of her teachers for a bit at the school, and he's a giant teddy bear. She loves the
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. He's Sid. He's so nice. Yeah. Nice guy. And he knows so much. I can't
Yeah.
imagine having him as an instructor. Uh, yeah.
I'm actually talking to him about being on the show. I'm hoping he says yes. He did respond. He said
Okay.
he'd let me know. So that'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I can't, I really got to get my A game going for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
didn't need it for you, you
we'll
know.
uh, we'll roast you. We'll let you cool off, think about things, regroup, then you can get them
Yeah, there you go.
on.
Um, Evan Thompson asked, "Do you remember the first character you drew as a kid? What was your first drawing? Do you remember?"
Superman. Um, I had seen the old black and white TV show, and
George Reeves, right?
here's a fun story. Um, I was 3 or 4. I think I might have been 4, um, when I saw my first comic books, and I was digging around in my grandparents' attic, and my brother and my brother's a couple years younger, a year and a half younger. We found this old chest and opened up the chest, and there were stacks of my dad's and my uncle's comic books from when they grew up.
Oh
And
wow.
but they all had the covers torn off.
Oh,
They were, yeah, so there they were. But that's when I saw my first comic books, and I was like, what are these? What's going on here? Who are all these characters? I was 4. I was processing it. I started drawing, I think, when I was 3. Um,
oh really?
yeah, my grandfather sat me on his lap and put a piece of paper down on the table and drew a truck, just a little line drawing of the truck, and I was just fascinated that he was able to take something like this and put it on paper and draw something with it and make something. And I immediately was like, give me that. I want to try it. I want to do it. And
Cool.
yeah, that's when I started drawing. And it was like within months of that event, I found my first comic books. And then I was like, wow, this is what I want to draw. But before then, I was drawing, like dinosaurs and monsters. The old,
Dinosaurs.
yeah, dinosaurs mainly because of the old and creatures, the old Ray Harryhausen movies, and
Well, you did
the whole.
illustrations for him, didn't you?
I did. So this is okay. So before I worked with IDW on Eternal Descent, the first well, okay, the second published work. The first published work I have in comics, I was an ink assist. It was an ink assist project for Top Cow on the Darkness and some Magdalena. So it was just like backgrounds and spottings and stuff. But my first interior pencil job was for Ray Harryhausen's Wrath of the Titans
Nice.
for Blue Water, which you guys can dig into who Blue Water is, but I knew face front going into that project that I would not be paid for it. It was just the way they worked. But
Look, you got to pay dues sometimes, you know.
I wanted to get a book done, and I wanted it to be something, and that just happened to be something that kind of resonated with my childhood. You know, it was Perseus and Pegasus and the Kraken. And, I mean, it was all the Clash of the Titans movie characters.
Sure.
So so I did the thing, and this was also while I was still at construction management. So it was a page every 3 days or something like that.
That's a cool credit to have, though, even if you didn't get paid.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I was replacing a penciler who had sliced his hand open on a knife, like trying to chop ice. And
you sure it wasn't like Jimmy, kneecaps? You didn't make a phone call or something?
Could have been Tommy Tendon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty cool. An even cooler experience out of that was the following year I went to San Diego. There's like 12 of us sleeping on a hotel floor, a hotel room floor. It was just like young kids at a con, dipping their toes in the industry, whole bunch.
Nice.
And I had the opportunity to sit down next to Ray Harryhausen and sign those books.
That's so cool.
And in the next table over is where Scott Williams and Jim Lee would hang out and sign all their books. And like that whole weekend, there were so many cool things that happened that weekend. And it impacted me more after his passing. What a special kind of moment that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the guy that created Creatures and Monsters film, claymation.
Oh yeah, legendary.
He made all of that stuff, and he's right there. I sign and hand him my book, and he signs it, and he hands it to the guy. I sign another one, and he signs it. We didn't say much. He was super nice, though, super nice and charming. I think that same weekend, I sat down to have lunch at one of the tables in the convention center. Got this elderly lady sat down next to me, and it was Charles Schultz's wife.
Oh, really?
We got to chat. Yeah.
That could have been your answer too for a great con moment. I didn't even ask you that one.
Yeah. There was some cool stuff that happened at that show. Fun weekend.
So, I mean, how do you keep up your sequential art chops? Because you do a lot of cover work at this point, and then you're doing commissions. That's all positioning and profile. But how do you do sequential storytelling? How do you keep your chops up with that?
I'm not touching sequentials as much as I did. Obviously, I really don't have that much sequential work in the industry. I've got maybe 7 or 8 issues of pencil work.
See, but that's what I find so fascinating about you, because they're always preaching you have to have your sequentials down. You got to work for the big 2. You got to do this to make it, and you have defied like every rule of law, and you've been very successful for much more than a decade at this point. And I've always respected that about you, that despite all the other things that I could do without. I always thought that I couldn't even keep a straight face. But
that was good. That's a zinger. That's a zinger, Phil.
I should have if I kept a straight face, it would have been great. But But I do admire that, because you really have defied the odds, and I think more artists need to see your story, not so much just to do what you're doing, but to know that there isn't one way to do this.
No.
Have the drive, have the determination, and obviously hone your skills. And nobody has to set the rules for you.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into what would I say to. I saw some of the questions you were going to throw my way, and that kind of leads into, you know, what advice would I give to other artists? And one of the things I would say is, you know, always be working on your craft. Your craft is never going to be perfect. You're always going to be changing and adding and absorbing other people's or other art styles, influences, and things that you like, and trends. It's always a moving target. But hit your deadlines, be on time. You know, go above and beyond when you can. Say thank you, be nice. Well, you know, some people aren't, but that's what I would tell people to do.
That's another thing though about you. I always mention that the most successful people, artists, don't just draw. They understand the industry, the marketing. I hate to use the word, but the brand of it. And you're very smart at marketing and getting yourself out there and showcasing your talent. So, I mean, what would you say to that for artists coming up?
I would say look at people in the industry who are where you want to be, and then find out how they got there. But then find out how 10 other people got there also.
Right.
And if you can gain some mentors, do that. You know, if people have the time to answer questions for you and you know, show you the ropes, so to say.
But give you the honest truth too. That these have to be people that are giving you the honest critiques on what you need to do to improve.
Yeah, I mean, where I am right now in this industry, there's like so many steps ahead of me, and there's people in those steps ahead of me that I'm still gleaning from, and I need to ask more questions of. But the other part of that is always be working on your craft. So, you know, things happen when everything aligns, and that's when, you know, the opportunity comes along. If you're ready for the opportunity, you know, you're golden. But you got to be ready. So,
right.
You got to always be working.
My brother was asking, do you have any hobbies outside of work, or does your work take up most of your time?
Yeah, the one thing that I really miss, besides conventions during this time, is my time on the court. I'm a basketball player.
I was too, believe it or not in the last 7 years, but I was good, and I'm still not bad. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, cool. I believe you. I believe you. Yeah, I've been running with the same guys for 20 years. And
yeah.
So, I miss all of that. You know, outside of that, I'm a little bit of an outdoorsy guy. I was into mountain biking and rock climbing and stuff like that for a while. You know, hunting, fishing. You know, a good hike every now and then.
So the physicality, it's a good way to cleanse yourself and detox, so to speak, so you can get your head focused on whatever the project is.
Yeah, I got like my college roommate. He climbs Mount Rainier once or twice every year. And,
oh wow!
I haven't done that with him yet, but I would like to.
Yeah, I don't do things that make me have to try to defy gravity. I'm already gravitationally challenged, so I don't do that.
Yeah, know your lane, right?
yes, know my limitations. That's what I say. Keith says he wants you to come to the Cincinnati Comic Expo when conventions come back.
Cool. Do you run that show?
No, he lives over in that area, though, and he wants to see you.
Oh, well, bug the show promoter, bug the show owners, and have them send an invite.
Yeah, actually, anybody, this is what we always say. If there's a show in your local area and you want to see a specific artist, you have to let them know to make them realize that this is a draw that they'll want to invest in. So tell them, I want to see Jason at whatever show.
Yeah.
Brandon was saying that my volume is twice as loud as yours. Yeah, I've addressed it with Jason, but unfortunately, it's where his mic is positioned right now.
There, I'll try to hold it. Is that better?
It's louder.
Okay.
It's louder.
Sorry, Brandon.
Oh, sure. Listen to Brandon, but I'll tell you this for an hour, and it's can't deal with you guys. But now you're frozen. You there?
Nothing. I got nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, your camera's frozen.
Oh, it looks good. It looks good on my end.
I don't know if they're seeing you moving or not, but it's frozen to me. Scott McCarty says he loves your work.
Thanks, Scott.
So do you only do the pencil medium, or do you do digital as well? Or do you do any other types of art, like acrylic paint or anything like that, oil paints, watercolors?
I'm working on a watercolor piece right now. I'm doing a Wolverine Wendigo X-23 battle in the Canadian forest. It's a
nice.
Big, 18 by 24. It's actually watercolor, Copic marker, mixed media stuff. I've done oil painting. I've got some acrylics. I just haven't pressed forward. Clayton Crane, man, I don't know if you guys have ever seen him do like a live drawing in acrylic. It's fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
And then digitally, I do color work digitally, but I prefer always to do the line art physically. I like having a physical piece of art in my hands.
I'm with you on that.
At least in the pencil and maybe the ink stage too.
So will you digitally ink, or will you ink traditionally as well, and then the color is digital?
I ink traditionally. Sometimes if I work with an inker, sometimes they'll ink digitally, and then all the color work on the published stuff is all digital
right.
color art. Mm-hmm.
Keith was asking, what was your favorite cover that you ever did?
That's a tough question. I recently did the cover for Van Helsing versus the Daughter of Dracula. Hang on a second, I'll grab
do you have it to show? That's a nice cover.
Yeah, just a sec.
Just to let everybody know, in case you aren't aware, I will determine the best question overnight and give an announcement of the winner tomorrow for the sketch that he'll finish later. Yeah, I love the wolf that you did on that, especially. That's amazing. Now, did you do everything on that, or was it sourced out to a colorist?
Sorry, I had to put my headphones back on.
Oh, I was saying I love the werewolf on that, especially. I love this cover. Did you do the pencils and inks and then source it out to color, or how much of that did you do?
Yeah, I did the pencils and inks, and then it's my character design on the werewolf, and then that's my Frankenstein design. Also.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the colors on this are by Ivan Nunez, who's out of Brazil.
Colors. Yeah,
amazing talent. Ivan's colored these 40 or 50 pieces of mine. Him and I've used Ula Moss, Jeremy Caldwell, a few other people.
Yeah, we're losing your volume again.
There. How's that?
So
Sorry, I'm getting a little raspy here. I need some more.
Get that ginger beer. So everybody, just so you know too, Jason. I mean, he was the first that I noticed. I don't know if you were the first, but besides having his prints and doing original commissions, etc., he has these awesome 11 by 17 metal prints. He has what are they, 9 by 12 metal prints, and he even has, for affordable for kids, etc., trading card size prints in metal. Yeah, I mean, I want you to show these. They're so good. I mean, the color really pops on these.
Yeah, these are aluminum. They're super cool. This is another favorite cover of mine. This is the Sumerian.
Nice.
By Ablaze. this was the project that kind of made the news because they got in a legal battle with Marvel over the rights in the U.S. to publish Conan
Oh,
books.
of
So
course.
this was in hiatus for a little while, but yeah, this is the Sumerian #1.
Very nice. Scott was asking, I don't know, you have your headphones in? Can you hear? Yeah, Scott was asking, are there any certain companies or editors that you have just really clicked with or currently work with now? He's putting you on the spot. As long as he didn't ask which ones you hate.
Yeah. No, like right now I'm working with like Bill Colomb. Bill is the owner, creator, writer for Y Comics. Yeah, he and I are fantastic. Let's see, who else? Oh, well, geez, my guys at Zenoscope. They're just a fun,
I've done a lot
yeah,
for them.
fun group of guys and gals, and we're like sometimes when I go to conventions, I'll be in panels with them, and I mean, as far as people to work for, they're fantastic. Um,
We're losing your audio again.
ah, crap! How's that?
There you go.
Man,
So I usually end the Q&A for me with this question before we double check any questions from anybody in the chat.
okay.
If you could go back in time to Jason Metcalf when you were first starting out in the art industry, what advice would you give yourself?
Live on ramen as much as you can, and buy Amazon
There you go.
as much as you can.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just want to also
No,
say to every what's that?
Oh, I mean, on a serious note, everything works out for a reason. So, I'd say, kid, don't stress it. You'll survive, um, at least until like right now. So,
Well, no, good advice. I mean, because everything's going to have its pitfalls, and you get tested. The whole point is you got to persevere. You got to keep going.
yeah, I mean, and shoot, I mean, overall, right now, this is a difficult time. This is there's a lot of challenges right now. If you want to be a comic book artist, or if you are a comic book artist, I'm I'm just super thankful that we have we have this uh, to be able to work with.
Yeah, the
Internet,
virtual helps absolutely.
yeah, internet and online connections. Can you imagine going through what we're going through without this technology?
Yeah,
Um,
carrier pigeons would really have a big comeback.
oh man, yeah. Where's Kevin Costner, the postman, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
So anyway, yeah. Right now, this has got to be the toughest time overall that the industry has gone through with you know
I agree.
shops, distribution, and everything shutting down, and this is tough. So, but the online avenues are anything and everything you can make them, but you have to make them. So,
And I think the silver lining is that the indie scene is really coming out stronger. I mean, not only are we getting
yeah,
better product out of the indie scene, but they're getting a bigger chance now to show that product off.
yeah. Um, and that's there's only one market share, and uh, part of the market has to give up for the other part of the market to absorb some of the market.
Right.
Um, Both of those things are happening.
See, it goes back to you knowing the business. I think that's just a very valuable asset for any artist to have. And I think it's partly testament to your success so far. So, going to the questions again, Russell Allen.
Hey, Russell.
What piece have you done that you had a hard time letting go of because you loved it so much?
Yeah. So I just sold a cover that I really liked. It was It was for Zenoscope. They have a character, Belle. Belle is from their Beauty and the Beast, but Belle is a beast hunter. She's cloaked in blue and has a sword, and this cover has her kind of crouched and walking in front of some ancient ruins with a big Medusa medallion in the background, Medusa head in the background. I had a tough time letting that go. It was priced accordingly. It went, but it went to somebody who's super cool. She is an up and coming fantasy author, and she
Nice.
bought that piece for inspiration for herself.
Cool.
That was super cool.
So how does that feel knowing that something you created is being used as an inspiration for somebody?
That's one of the best things about what I do. That's whether it's putting a smile on a kid's face at a show, or inspiring another artist, or unlocking a key in something that somebody's been struggling with, and it just leads them on to the next level. I enjoy that a lot.
Nice.
What was I watching? Was it Joe Rogan? I was watching something on YouTube the other day, and they were talking about walk like an Egyptian, and the pose with one hand's up and one hand is down.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true or not. I haven't had time to research it. I just heard it the other day. But the one hand up is receiving from above, and the one hand down is giving to below.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you're the conduit, between the two.
That's cool.
So it was a super cool thing.
I learned something new today.
I'm just a steward,
Well, I mean, and some artists, and I'm not saying it's not a lot, but they don't have a pay it forward kind of frame of mind. You and I have discussed one individual we won't get into, but so when I see artists that have, you talk about being that conduit and paying it forward, when I see that, I think that's awesome because, humility and being humble, I think, is a very powerful key, important. And it also is good for quote unquote your brand. People, if they can feel that from you and they can relate to you and they feel that you're that kind of person, I think it just helps overall anyway, even though that's not why you're doing it. But I think it's great when people pay it forward.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely, as in any walk of life, there's different personalities out there and different motivations. And people do things in different ways. I'm just, I think, one thing I brought up earlier, I brought up for a point that I've never, outside of sending out a few sample packets and things like that, I haven't really pressed hard for a certain project or anything. I have all these things come at me, and some of them are really awesome surprises, and they lead to more things. And there's a part of me that just enjoys that sense of adventure about it. But the other part has to pay the bills every month. So
Right.
Stuff I got to get done, So, but leaving that door open for, who knows what's going to come. I don't.
Well, I also think there's more autonomy for you when you work the way you do, freelancing like this.
Absolutely.
Than the big two, because they really put the reins on you.
Yeah, I'm not a part of a corporate machine. I don't feel like a cog. I feel like I'm contributing, and I hope it's helping. So I hope it's helping the project. I hope it's helping the client that I draw something for, or whatever.
Very cool. Does anybody else have any other questions? Unfortunately, the auction didn't seem to go. I'm sorry.
Hey, no problem.
But it will be up for a commission price after the show, I would imagine, right? At this point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, tomorrow I will announce the best question that I'll determine, and
Cool.
I'll let Jason know, and then you can work out the details of getting the sketch. He'll finish it sometime over the next several days. Anybody have any other questions for Jason? Anybody going once, going twice? Every show I do this, I think we're wrapping it up, and then I'll get like 4 or 5 questions, which I think is great. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I think it's really cool how people seem to be enjoying it and want to continue. So anybody else have anything to say to Jason? Anything? Did I miss any questions? I did think I missed one question. Someone had asked, what's your favorite MCU movie? Let me see who that was. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I'd probably say The Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Me too. That's mine too.
Really? Yeah.
Does that scare you that you and I have a lot in common? Does that make you tremble at night?
Now that you bring it up, yeah.
He's gonna have to change his movie.
Yeah, I meant Hulk.
Yeah. Which one? The Gumby Hulk or?
And actually, Blade.
Blade. I can't believe everybody seems to forget that. That is one.
Blade some credit.
Yeah, man, and it's the first real MCU movie. I mean, granted, you had the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, which was a joke, but that was the first really successful, well done Marvel movie, and everybody seems to forget that.
Yeah. That was.
So Dante asked, how many times do you get confused with the actor Jason Metcalf? I didn't even know there was an actor Jason Metcalf.
I didn't either. I know there's a Jesse Metcalf. Gosh, was he in? I forget what he was on. But yeah, no, never.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. He's just happy that he gets recognized. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody thought I was Bobby Flay from 50 feet away once.
Dante said that he loved his favorite movies. I love Roger Corman's Fantastic Four personally. It's craptastic. The thing is, Roger Corman, he knew what he was. He never pretended to be anything other than that. So I guess that's why we kind of accept those camping movies. It's when people are trying to be Avengers and they wind up being that Fantastic Four.
No, he was very honest with what he could do with a budget.
Yeah. I mean, no, it was no Toxic Avenger or anything, but...
Yeah.
So anything else? Anybody else? Anybody? All right. Well, look, Jason, I had a lot of fun talking to you. I really thank you for coming out. I mean, an hour and 42 minutes just goes fast. Every time we have this show, it just goes fast.
Yeah, that went quick.
Yeah. Usually you're trying to get quickly away from me, but this time, the time with me went quick. So just, again, to let everybody know, Jason, shout out your Facebook and your Instagram.
Yeah, I think I'm Jason Metcalf on Facebook and
Metcalf Jason on Instagram.
Yeah.
And if you see scrolling below, Jason Metcalf /art.com, it's not updated fully. So go to Jason on Facebook and message him, or go on his Facebook page. You can see a lot of the commissions that he's done. Some are still for sale. Check out the Kinetic Kickstarter that's going on right now. Jason, one of the tiers is the original cover art for Jason on there, which he had shown. I don't know if you want to show it again for anybody that showed up late. So that'll be in there.
Yeah.
And are you open for commissions right now?
I tell you what, I am taking orders. I think I have 2 spots left for November delivery.
Okay.
And then I have, I think 3 spots are open for December right now. But I'm totally booked up until then.
And if anybody's ever interested in starting their own jam piece hobby like I have, if you look behind me, you'll see some of my jam pieces. I'm telling you, he is the guy to go to for layouts. He does the best. I mean, everybody's telling me they're the most professional. He really gives you what you ask for. They look phenomenal, and I just love the hobby. So if it's something you're interested in, he is your guy for layouts. I highly recommend him. Every single one I get the layouts from Jason.
Thanks,
so thanks again for being a guest. You're welcome anytime to come on. And, of course, whenever those projects come up. Dude, I'm praying for you that you get good news about your submissions today. We want to hear great announcements about that.
Yeah,
and
no, it's super cool. It'll be fun. If it rolls the right way, it's going to be a cool thing. So.
Well, I hope so. I really do.
Yeah.
Would you? All right. Russell said, "Would you love to talk? Would love to talk to you about possibly doing a piece for Zenonite Titan Book 2."
Yeah, cool. DM me on Facebook, Russell. Let's chat.
Cool. Look at this. We're making connections. I'm like the Love Boat of the comics industry. I'm Captain Stubing. Yeah.
I was thinking of another show.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. I am deadly serious about the roast. I think it would be funny as long as you can, you guys come up with funny material, or we're gonna boo you off stage and the roast will be about you. But I will get you on. What's that?
I'll have to pull up some of those old 1970s roasts and see what that format was like. I remember those as a kid.
They're funny as hell. But if you're serious, I know Chris would love to poke fun at me for an hour. If you're serious, I'll just have to find a few other people that really would love to make fun of me all day, and we could have a really cool roast. It would be fun, right? Tell me it wouldn't be fun just roasting the hell out of me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, anytime.
But then I got to come back with roasting you guys at the end, right? And I got to come up with funny material. We'll figure it out. I'm not a comedian, but
we'll see.
Jason, man, have a great night. Thank you so much. And just remember, everybody, he'll finish that rogue, and I will pick the winner tomorrow.
That'll be cool. Yeah.
All right. Go to that Kickstarter. Pledge for that tier, man. That's a great piece that he's got up there, that original art.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, guys. Thanks for all the questions. Everybody have a great weekend. I really enjoyed this. This was fun.
Yeah, I really am glad that you came on. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. And I'm not kidding about Sid. If you ever need somebody that can do some solid art for a variant cover or whatever, she really is. I mean, she really is good. I wouldn't stick my neck out if she wasn't good. So
shoot me her info if you have it. That's cool.
Sure. All right, man. You have a great night. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing that rogue.
Okay, buddy. Take care. Thanks, Phil.
Be good.
All right. You too. Eat more lobster.
Yeah, eat more lobster. So episode 9 is over with Jason. Jason's a great guy. He's a phenomenal artist, as you can see. Again, you're getting a better picture of all my layouts behind me. So I can't recommend him enough for all your art desires. Stephanie, thank you for coming out, and I actually will take a look and keep an eye on your show. Feel free to post your show if you want. I know there's nothing going on right now, but you can post the website or the information. We have a special Monday edition of this show for the campaign going on right now for Mojo Risen. So come on out. We have the entire crew, creative crew, going to be on. It's Monday night. And then, of course, Tuesday night, we have our regular scheduled episode with Chris Mad, who is a really talented artist and a good guy. So I ask you guys to come out. Thank you for the support. I'm very grateful for everybody's support. This is for the artists. This is to get the exposure. If there are any artists or writers or creators out there watching right now, I am booked through January. Through the grace of God, a lot of people have been interested. But if you do want to be on the show, please DM me on Facebook. If you have a Kickstarter campaign or an Indiegogo that's before then and it wouldn't serve you to do it then, contact me anyway. If I can add a show like I did for Mojo Risen, I'll be happy to. I do this to promote you guys, get all the creators exposure as much as possible. I hope it's helping. So please don't be shy. DM me and come out. I do want you to know we have some amazing guests coming up. I mean, Meredith Finch is next week after Chris Mad. We have Ian Churchill and Joseph Rubenstein and Alex Sinclair and it's just so many. Okay, so thank you for your support. Tomorrow I will put up a video announcing the winner of the posse contest, which basically was, we have a lot of regulars that come in the chat, and I asked them to make up a name, like quote unquote the dog pound or something like that, something creative to refer to them as. And whoever I deem with the best name will pick that name. They will become that name. Anybody who's regular in the chat, and I will give them a prize, which I will determine and announce the winner and the prize tomorrow. In the same video, I will announce the winner of what I thought was the best question for Jason Metcalf to get the Rogue head sketch on the sketch cover. So please tune in tomorrow, probably around 1 o'clock, to be honest with you, and I will announce those winners. Again, I thank everybody for the support. I hope everyone is healthy, happy, and safe. I wish everyone success with whatever it is they want to follow and pursue in life. Don't stop. Keep plugging along. Push it. Get it out there, okay? And I'll leave you with what I always leave you. Have fun storming the castle.